I'm not going to speak bad about P. Diddy because he's still a black man. Mistakes happen. I would be hurt, but that's a choice that my daughter made.
Yeah.
So I don't want to kick nobody while they're down.
So it seems like Diddy's got some unexpected backup in his corner. Remember when the whole world was up in arms about the awful stuff Diddy allegedly did to those women, including his ex Cassie? Yeah, he practically vanished from the scene, hiding away from the public eye. But guess what? Some celebs have decided to step up and show their support for him. We're talking Floyd Mayweather, Rick Ross, and a few others. They're taking a pretty unique stance on the whole Diddy debacle. But of course, standing by Diddy isn't exactly winning them any popularity contests on social media. Nope, they're getting slammed left, right, and center. And if that wasn't enough drama, now 50 Cent's getting involved. You know how 50's been relentless in his attacks on Diddy since the allegations surfaced? Well, now that Mayweather, Ross, and the gang are rallying behind Diddy, it's like a whole new level of drama. Rumor has it that 50's absolutely fuming, and he's supposedly gearing up to spill some serious tea. Like, he's apparently planning to expose these guys, claiming they're only backing Diddy because they've got some shady stuff going on themselves. Word on the street is that 50's hinting at some gay for pay situation, suggesting that's why they're showing their support. It's a whole lot, guys, but let's get into it. Now, Floyd Mayweather, the retired boxing champ, made some waves on the Pivot podcast recently. Instead of joining the Diddy bashing brigade, he took a different route. Essentially, Mayweather said he's not going to trash talk Diddy just because they're both black dudes. He made it clear that Diddy's business is Diddy's business and not up for grabs in the court of public opinion. In his eyes, it's not his job or anyone else's to publicly shame or criticize Diddy, especially when things are rough. He said, "I'm not going to speak bad about P. Diddy, because he's still a black man. Mistakes happen, and I can't say if it is or not a mistake, but things happen in life. And P. Diddy business is P. Diddy business. It's not my job or anyone else's job to go on the internet and stomp him and kick a man when he's down. My take on it is it's not my business. I don't think it's right at all, and I don't condone it."
And P. Diddy business is P. Diddy business. It's not my job or anyone else's job to go on the internet and stomp him and kick a man while he's down.
Now, where things really hit a nerve is when Mayweather started talking about how even if it was his own daughter in a similar situation, he wouldn't be happy, but he'd have to accept it as her choice. And that's when the internet exploded. "Even if that happened to my daughter, I would be hurt, but that's the choice that my daughter made," he said. "So I don't want to kick nobody while they're down."
Even if that happened to my daughter, I would be hurt, but that's the choice that my daughter made.
Yeah.
So I don't want to kick nobody while they're down.
But wait, the drama's not done yet. 50 Cent, who'd been laying off Diddy for a hot minute, couldn't resist taking a swing at Mayweather. He saw that podcast clip making the rounds and didn't hold back. On Instagram, he straight up called Mayweather stupid for his take. According to 50, Mayweather's missing the mark big time and just sounding like a hater. In a caption, he wrote, "They didn't even ask him about this. Champ, is you stupid or is you dumb?" 50, who was once friends with Mayweather, went on to promote his greenlit documentary project about the allegations that Diddy has faced. "Get me the F out ya head. You sound like a hater. Diddy do it? Coming soon," he concluded. Now, 50 wasn't the only one shaking their head at Mayweather's unexpected defense of Diddy. Social media lit up with criticism aimed at the retired boxer too. But we can't say it was totally unexpected, right? I mean, Mayweather's had his fair share of run-ins with the law before, so people weren't exactly shocked by his controversial stance. One fan said, "Floyd Mayweather has a history of physically A-ing women, so his response is not surprising at all. Implying your daughter being A-ed as a choice she made is not only disgusting, it's intentional." Another fan said, "I'm disappointed that these dudes are asking a known abuser his opinion on another abuser." His answer was right on par for Floyd. Dude is so out of touch with anything that ain't about making a dollar. Now, after Mayweather's eyebrow-raising defense of Diddy and getting heat from 50 Cent, things just got even more interesting. There's been a buzz about a recent run-in between rapper Rick Ross and boxing icon Floyd Mayweather. Apparently, these two crossed paths at a Miami club on February 21st, right after Mayweather made those controversial comments on the Pivot podcast about Diddy's situation. And get this, despite all the drama, they were spotted having a good old laugh together, acting like there's not a care in the world. But you know how it goes. The internet's always ready to jump to conclusions. So now, rumors are swirling that maybe Ross and Mayweather aren't just innocent bystanders here. People are speculating that they're involved in the same shady stuff as Diddy, which might explain why they're so quick to back him up publicly. And to really understand why fans are up in arms about Mayweather's behavior, let's take a quick peek at some of the allegations thrown his way. Back in 2002, Mayweather found himself facing some serious legal trouble. He was hit with 2 charges of domestic violence and another one for misdemeanor battery. The court slapped him with a 6-month suspended sentence, plus 2 days of house arrest, and ordered him to do 48 hours of community service. Then, in 2004, it was déjà vu for Mayweather. He got a 1-year suspended jail sentence and had to attend counseling for what they called impulse control. On top of that, he had to cough up a $1,000 fine or do 100 hours of community service. All this after being convicted of 2 counts of misdemeanor battery against 2 different women. And as if that wasn't enough drama, in 2005, Mayweather pleaded no contest to yet another misdemeanor battery charge. This time, it was for getting physical with a bouncer. He got off with a 90-day suspended jail sentence. Back in September 9th, 2010, things took a serious turn for Mayweather when his ex-girlfriend, Josie Harris, went to the police with allegations of domestic battery. This wasn't the first time Harris had accused Mayweather, but back in 2005, she admitted to lying about previous incidents, leading to dropped charges. This time, Mayweather was taken into custody on September 10th, 2010, but was released after posting $3,000 bail. Initially, he was hit with a felony theft charge related to Harris's missing phone, but things escalated when 2 felony coercion charges, a felony robbery charge, a misdemeanor domestic battery charge, and 3 misdemeanor harassment charges were added on September 16th. Fast forward to December 21st, 2011, and Mayweather found himself facing a judge. He struck a deal with prosecutors, pleading guilty to misdemeanor battery in exchange for dropping the felony charge. Additionally, he pleaded no contest to 2 counts of misdemeanor harassment for threatening his children. The judge didn't go easy on Mayweather, though. He was sentenced to 90 days in county jail, along with 100 hours of community service, a 12-month domestic violence program, and $2,500 fine. Mayweather started serving his sentence on June 1st, and finally walked out a free man on August 3rd, 2012. So yeah, that's why Mayweather's showing support for Diddy in the face of those allegations really rubbed people the wrong way. I mean, their situations are practically identical. Now, for those who aren't aware of why people are truly upset and to shed light on why Mayweather's comments seem absurd, let's provide a brief overview of what Diddy was charged with. Back in 2022, when Diddy snagged that Lifetime Achievement Award at the BET Awards, he gave a shout out to everyone who had his back, including Cassie. But here's the twist. While he's singing praises, court documents are telling a different story. Cassie allegedly went through some seriously dark times with Diddy. We're talking violence, and even the P word. The lawsuit had a trigger warning, and you know it's intense when even lawyers who've seen it all feel triggered.
Yeah, and also Cassie for holding me down in the dark times. Love.
This legal roller coaster kicked off on November 16, 2023, when Cassie filed a lawsuit, spilling the beans about a decade of alleged abuse and violence during her relationship with Diddy. He straight up denied everything, calling it an extortion move on Cassie's part. As talk shifted toward a settlement, Cassie's lawyer gave her props for speaking out. The lawsuit painted a harsh picture, claiming Diddy M and A-ed Cassie when she was 19 and he was 37. It also spilled details about Substance A allegedly pushed by Diddy, messing up Cassie's life. But the roller coaster took a wild turn when, just a day after Cassie dropped these bombshell accusations, they speedily settled their legal beef. In a joint statement on November 17, 2023, they kept the settlement details hush-hush. Diddy's lawyer made it clear that settling didn't mean an admission of guilt. They were sticking to the denial story before the settlement. Cassie's legal rep fired back, saying Diddy tried to drop a big bag of cash to shut her up, but Cassie wasn't having it. She wanted to be a voice for women dealing with similar issues, not just take the money and run. Before things got sorted, Diddy's lawyer spilled that Cassie was demanding a whopping $30 million and throwing around threats of spilling the beans in a tell-all book. He straight up called it blackmail and dismissed the whole lawsuit as a bunch of lies. According to the lawsuit, Diddy was running the show in Cassie's life, from from her finances to digging into her medical records. Cassie spilled that an MRI showed memory loss, blaming it on Diddy's physical aggression and the pills he pushed her to take, especially loads of pain K. He was like her personal pill supplier. Back in 2016, Cassie tried to cut ties with Diddy, and things got absolutely insane. The cops had to step in. But get this, she didn't press charges because she was genuinely scared of Diddy's unpredictable nature. After their intense fights, he tried to smooth things over by showering her with fancy gifts. But the bruises on Cassie told a completely different story. He ended up hiding her away in hotels for recovery. Now the lawsuit spills all the details on Diddy's alleged repeated physical A against Cassie, painting a seriously grim picture. It's so intense that it's drawing parallels to the infamous Ike and Tina Turner situation. And here's the shocker, it doesn't stop there. Other exes like Kim Porter supposedly faced the same mistreatment, and even Diddy's former bodyguard Gene Deal backed up these claims. There's some talk going around that Diddy really messed with Kim Porter, making it hard for her to connect with other guys. That same controlling vibe apparently showed up in his relationship with his baby mama, Misa Hilton. But hold on, the madness doesn't stop there. In 2012, when Cassie and Diddy decided to take a break, she ended up with Kid Cudi. Now here's where it gets wild. Diddy went absolutely nuts, supposedly threatening to wreck Kid Cudi's ride. Lo and behold, the car blew up in Kid Cudi's driveway. Coincidence? Maybe not. And whenever Diddy got wind of Cassie talking to another guy, he went full-on aggressive, causing physical harm to both the dude and Cassie. After Cassie's lawsuit, 3 more lawsuits popped up, each one seeming worse than the last. Now, when news broke about those allegations against Diddy, even though he did his usual denial routine, a bunch of folks who've worked with him stepped up to back Cassie and the other girls, basically confirming everything. Diddy's ex-head of security, Roger Bonds, spilled the beans and straight up said he had to step in multiple times when Diddy was getting physical with Cassie. Cassie herself confirmed it, saying she had to jump in between them more than once. And it wasn't just her dealing with it. Others were in the mix too. He was like, "I was sick of everything that was going on around you. I was sick of having to cover up everything that you did. I was sick." Cassie spoke on it. She said, "Yeah, I jumped on it. I jumped in between it. That wasn't the only time. It was other times, and it was other people." Then there's Gene Deal, a former bodyguard from Diddy's 90s squad, who spilled some serious tea. He claimed Diddy treated his late ex, Kim Porter, and his other ex, Misa Hilton, the same way. Gene even went as far as saying Diddy dissed his own mom with some choice names. He said, "I didn't know Cassie, but I knew somebody who was going through the same thing she was going through, and that was Kim Porter." Way before Kim, he beat the SHT out of Misa because she thought she was dealing with Eric Sermon, the green-eyed dude. He's known for SHT like that, bro. When he cursed his mother, I said to him, "Man, if you curse your mother again, Emma beat the SHT out you." He said, "Well, no, Gene, she always in my business." I said, "If it wasn't for her, you wouldn't have no business." I'm saying that to say this to the women out there. If a man disrespects his mother, you just like an ice cube. You ain't got a chance in hell. Another former bad boy artist, Mark Curry, joined the talk. He spilled that Diddy wiretapped Kim Porter's phone and backed up Gene's story about Diddy being abusive to both Misa Hilton and Kim. It was back then he used no do that with Misa. And the only person that really put their hands on women really is men who have feminine traits. So it really takes a coward to put his hands on a woman. A man is so strong enough we can just walk away. There are so many different things that you can do other than get upset. Put your hands on a woman. But that comes from a man who's not quite a grown man. It's still a boy, like a bad boy. Mark even dropped the bomb that Diddy got super jealous and insecure whenever a girl chose one of his friends over him. He once went ballistic and threatened to hit a girl Mark was seeing just because she turned him down. And then there's this whole gay for pay rumor floating around. Apparently, it's not just the ladies who've reportedly been affected. Seems like even some guys in the industry got caught up in it. Word on the street is that Diddy made advances on some celebs. Let's start with the whole Diddy and 50 Cent saga. So back in 2003 at Chris Lighty's wedding, Diddy threw out the offer to take 50 Cent on a shopping spree. Now keep in mind, 50 was already a seasoned industry player by then, hitting 28 years old and almost a decade in the game. He wasn't having any of Diddy's proposal. In 50's own words, he recalls the moment. He said something to me one time at Chris Lighty's wedding. He told me he wanted to take me shopping. I looked at him like, "What did you just say? Let me move before I do something. You're gonna make me mess up the wedding."
He told me to take me shopping. I looked at him like, what'd you just say? Let me move, man, before I do something. You're gonna make me mess up the wedding.
And then there's the game. He didn't flat out say Diddy tried anything, but he did drop some eyebrow-raising details. The Game spilled the beans about chilling with Diddy for a good 2 years, doing the whole shopping spree thing, and not laying down a single track together. Strange, right? Back in the day, chatting with VLAD TV, The Game opened up about high-profile rappers living a bit of a double life. He dropped a bomb saying he thinks there are several rappers in the closet, and these guys are covering up their true colors by hooking up with lots of ladies. Game was like, I don't have an issue with being gay. Be proud of it. His beef is with folks pretending not to be gay, but actually are. He got serious talking about how it's not cool because it can lead to some serious health issues and a whole mess of drama. And when asked if he worked with a rapper who's not being straight up about their orientation, he didn't hesitate. He was like, yeah, man, there's some man fans out there in hip hop. It's like he's saying, if you're gay, just own it. No need for all the hiding and pretending.
I was running around with D-Mac and Puff. We just did a bunch of partying. We might have went to the studio once or twice, but I didn't get to record nothing. I was just,
Game didn't spill any names, but he dropped hints. Then he rolls up on Drink Champs last year and spills all the details about how he crossed paths with Diddy. Game got serious about music around 2001 with his brother Big Phase 100. They cooked up a mixtape, and lo and behold, it landed in Diddy's hands. Game's thinking, sweet bad boy deal coming my way. But nah, it didn't happen. Why? Well, according to Game, Diddy had some wild expectations. Allegedly, he wanted Game and 50 Cent to get down and dirty in exchange for a record deal. No thanks, they said. Fast forward to Drink Champs, and Game spills it all. Diddy was playing it like they're gonna drop an album, but reality check, for 2 whole years, they're just globe-trotting. Diddy's throwing cash around, buying Game fancy bling and watches. The standard Diddy treatment, taking him shopping. But here's the kicker. When Diddy caught on that Game wasn't taking him up on whatever offer he allegedly had in mind, he handed him off to Dr. Dre. Another person is actor and choreographer Columbus Short, who recently shared a video claiming Diddy tried to get him to come to his hotel room at 3 a.m. In a video, he straight up said Diddy tried to pull him into a late-night hotel room situation at 3 a.m. talk about a bold move. Columbus ain't keeping quiet about it either. He's like, I'm snitching in the kitchen. Columbus shared the story, saying he got a random call from Diddy in the middle of the night when he was still married. Diddy was all, why weren't you at the BET Awards? Columbus, being a married man and all, was like, I'm in bed with my wife, man. Diddy, unfazed, dropped the bomb that he was at the Beverly Hills Hotel, just chilling solo. Now, props to Columbus for speaking up, but can we please retire the word snitch, especially when it's about reporting serious stuff like SA? It's not snitching, it's being a decent human and doing your civic duty. We need more people calling out bad behavior, not turning a blind eye. Then there's Usher. Back in the 90s, Diddy ran this thing called Puffy Flavor Camp. It was like a crash course for young stars to get some mentorship from the man himself. And let me tell you, the stories these celebs have spilled about their time in Puffy Flavor Camp are just wild. Usher, the R&B sensation we all know, spilled the beans in 2016. He told Howard that he really got a taste of fame after spending a year living with Puff Daddy when he was just 14. Picture it, young Usher wowing LA Reid with his musical skills, and bam, he's jetting off to New York to crash with Puffy during the golden era of Bad Boy Records, all in the name of getting the real deal scoop on making it big in the music scene. I got a chance to see some things. I went there to see the lifestyle, and I saw it, Usher said during his first Stern Show interview. It was pretty wild. It was crazy, Usher said, while rattling off some of the biggest names in hip-hop who were a constant presence at Puffy's house, including Notorious Big, Lil' Kim, Faith Evans, Mary J. Blige, and Craig Mack. I was like the little brother. They called me Baby Boo, Usher spilled. Also, there's Sway Lee, who took a trip to the Bahamas with Diddy a few years back. And then there's Justin Bieber, who apparently had some fear vibes going on whenever Diddy was around. But here's a bombshell. An unnamed guy has come forward, accusing Diddy of some serious allegations dating back to 1989. The guy claims he was SA'd by Diddy and a friend after an off-campus party at Howard University. The guy says, I know this is random, but my name is blank, and I was SA'd by Diddy and a friend of his on April 15th, 1989 in DC. It has taken a lot of strength for me to get to this stage of self-assurance, but I now know I have nothing to be ashamed of. I attended Howard University the same time he was there, and I was taken advantage of after an off-campus party. I will be the first to admit I was inebriated. Diddy noticed I was intoxicated and offered to give me a ride back to my dorm. I trusted him at the time because we were acquainted with one another because we had economics class together. This man went on to spill some explicit details about how Diddy allegedly lured him into his apartment, where another guy named Lorenzo was waiting. According to the accuser, he was drugged, and both of them took turns doing some really inappropriate stuff. Now remember, all of this is just the guy's side of the story, but he's not taking taking it lightly. He's prepping to sue Diddy, getting all his documents in order, and he's dead set on making Diddy pay for what he says went down that night. It's a serious situation, and he's adamant that it changed him forever. So yeah, considering all of this, it's pretty clear that anyone who dares to publicly support Diddy is in for a serious backlash from the public, and of course from 50 Cent. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see you in the next video.